The sprawling Zethar interstellar empire covered more than 11,000 star systems. It was ancient, rich, and very proud. For thousands of years, the Zethar had found new species and brought them into their great family. They always did it the same way. Big fleets arrived, kind words were spoken, wonderful gifts were offered. Almost every species said yes quickly. The humans lived on a single blue world called Earth. In the eyes of the galaxy, they were newborns. They had only begun to send machines and people beyond their moon. No hyperdrive, no colonies on other stars, no contact with anyone else. To the Zethar, they seemed small and simple. High Envoy Kesar Vale commanded the first contact fleet. He was tall and thin, with silver skin that shone softly, and eyes like deep black glass. He had welcomed dozens of species before. Each time, the pattern was the same. Surprise, excitement, then grateful agreement. One clear morning, a Zethar ships appeared high above Earth. 40 giant vessels, smooth and dark, filled the sky over every continent. Their shadows passed over cities. Bright signals flashed across television screens, phones, and computers. A calm voice spoke in every human language at the same time. People of Earth, we are representatives of the Zethar Interstellar Empire. We come in peace and friendship. We bring knowledge, healing, and great wealth. We invite you to join our vast community as protected and honored members. The message played for hours. Leaders in every country stopped what they were doing. Military bases went to high alert. Families gathered around screens. Scientists shouted in excitement. Ordinary people stood in streets and looked up, hearts beating fast. 3 days passed while Earth tried to understand what was happening. Then, the Zethar sent small shuttles down. They chose an open field near the United Nations building in New York. Diplomats, presidents, and representatives from almost every nation waited there. Cameras from around the world watched live. High Envoy Kesar Vale stepped out of the first shuttle. His long blue robes moved gently in the wind. Behind him walked aides carrying glowing data tablets. They looked peaceful and patient, like teachers ready to help. The human group stood on a simple platform. 50 people, men and women of different colors and ages. They wore normal suits and dresses, no special robes, no crowns, just quiet faces. Kesar Vale spoke first. His voice came through small translator devices, clear and warm. We have observed your world for some time. You are strong. You are inventive. You argue and fight among yourselves, but you also care for the weak and build great things together. These are signs of a species with promise. We offer you our standard integration package. It is the same generous package we give every new civilization. You will become a protected client state at once. Our powerful fleets will defend your system from any danger. You will receive our advanced technology immediately. Engines that fold space so you can travel between stars in days instead of centuries. Tiny machines that enter your body and cure almost every sickness. Devices that let you speak any language without effort. You will be given resource credits, wealth equal to 500 times your planet's current yearly production. Use it to end hunger, clean your air and water, build new cities, whatever you wish. You will also gain a seat on our Periphery Council. Your voice will be heard in decisions that affect your part of the galaxy. In return, we ask only a few simple things. You accept our guidance in large matters to keep peace. You send a small tribute, less than 1% of the new wealth we give you. You build no large attack fleets, only ships for defense. You follow our basic rules so all species can live together without conflict. This offer is fair. Most accept it quickly, some think for a day or two. We have never known a refusal. The humans stood still and listened. No one moved, no one whispered. When Kesar Vale stopped, A woman walked forward. Her name was Dr. Elena Ruiz. She had been chosen to speak for Earth that day. "Thank you, High Envoy Kesar Vale," she said. Her voice was calm and clear. "We have listened carefully to your words. We understand what you offer. We are grateful that you traveled so far and thought of us." All our governments talked. Leaders from every nation, scientists, teachers, ordinary people through their representatives. We reached one answer together. We decline your offer. A quiet sound came from the Zethar group, like many people taking a sudden breath. Kesar Vale turned his head a little to one side. "You decline?" he repeated slowly. "May we ask the reason?" Elena met his black eyes without fear. "Because we do not want to belong to anyone. We do not want anyone to watch over us like children. We do not want rules on what we can build or where we can go. We thank you for your kindness, but our answer is no." Kesar Vale gave a small smile. It was the smile he always used when a species felt unsure. "Perhaps you do not see the full value yet," he said kindly. "Many feel afraid at first. Let us show you. We can heal your sick today. We can make your deserts green. We can give your children long, healthy lives. These things are real. They matter." "They do matter," Elena answered. "We have spent thousands of years fighting to control our own lives. We will not give that up now, even for wonderful gifts." The Zethar aides looked at one another. Their faces showed confusion. This had never happened in all their long history. Kesar Vale tried one more time. "You would still be free in many ways. Your homes, your art, your stories, they can stay. We only guide the big things for the good of all." Elena shook her head gently. "Guidance turns into orders. Orders turn into control. We have seen it many times in our past. We choose to walk our own road, even if it is hard." The High Envoy stood quiet for a long moment. His dark eyes moved over the human faces. They showed no anger, no greed, only a steady calm. At last he spoke. "We respect your choice today. We will return with better terms. Think carefully. The galaxy is wide and not always safe. You are alone out here. We offer you family, a place." The Zethar group walked back to their shuttles. The small ships lifted off without a sound and joined the giant fleet above. That night, the world talked. In homes, in bars, on streets, people argued, laughed, worried, and cheered. For the first time, every human shared one simple word: no. High above, in his private room on the flagship, Kesar Vale watched the recording again. He listened to Elena's last words many times. "We choose to walk our own road." He had met so many species. None had ever answered like this. None had refused so plainly and so peacefully. He opened a channel to the distant Imperial Core and sent a short report. "First contact with species designated human completed. Standard integration package presented. Offer rejected without negotiation or counter-demand. Rejection delivered politely and with complete unity. No hostility shown. Recommend prepare improved proposal. Observation should continue. Note: behavior does not match any prior pattern." He closed the message and looked down at the glowing blue planet. For the first time in 4 centuries of service, High Envoy Kesar Vale felt something strange in his chest. A tiny spark of uncertainty. The 18 months after first contact passed quickly for most humans, but felt like forever to the Zethar diplomats. High Envoy Kesar Vale returned to Earth 5 more times. Each visit came with a bigger offer than the last. The Empire wanted humans inside their system. They could not understand why the small blue world kept saying no. The first return happened 6 months after the rejection. The same 40 ships appeared again, but this time they brought visible gifts. Huge cargo pods floated down to Earth. Inside were medical machines that could fix broken bones in minutes, clean water filters for whole cities, and seeds that grew food 3 times faster. The Zethar called these samples of goodwill. Cassar Vale met the same group of human leaders in the same field near New York. Dr. Elena Ruiz stood at the front again. Her hair had a few more gray strands, but her eyes stayed steady. "We have thought about your first answer," Cassar Vale said. "We now offer more. You will become a full sector governorship. That means your leaders sit with our High Council on important matters. You keep most of your laws. You pay almost no tribute for the first 100 years. We also give you 3 rich nebulae, clouds of gas and dust full of rare metals, yours to mine and use forever." The humans listened quietly. Some took notes, others just watched. Elena spoke when he finished. "We thank you again. Your gifts are kind, but our answer stays the same. We decline." Cassar Vale blinked slowly. "You do not even wish to discuss?" "No," she said. "Discussion means we accept the idea of belonging to someone else. We do not." The Zethar left that day, looking more confused than angry. The second visit came 4 months later. This time, the fleet was larger, 60 ships. They did not land gifts. Instead, they showed holograms in the sky above every major city. Pictures of happy client worlds, tall, shining cities, people living to 200 years, children playing under 2 suns. The message was clear. This could be yours. Cassar Vale spoke to a bigger crowd this time. Thousands came to watch in person. Billions watched on screens. "We offer co-ownership of the Nebula Concord," he said. "It holds enough resources to make your world rich beyond dreams. Also, the Emperor himself sends a personal promise. Any damage your planet has suffered, pollution, old wars, sickness, we will erase it. Clean skies, pure oceans, healthy people, all gone in 1 generation." A soft wind moved through the crowd. People looked at each other. Some smiled. Others shook their heads. Elena stepped forward. "We appreciate the Emperor's kindness. We know these things would help many, but we will fix our own problems in our own way. We decline." A low murmur went through the humans. Not anger, not sadness, just agreement. Cassar Vale's silver skin seemed a little duller that day. The third visit was different. No big show. Only 1 small shuttle landed quietly at night. Cassar Vale met just 5 human leaders in a plain room. No cameras, no crowds. "We think you fear loss of freedom," he said softly. "So we changed the terms. You join as equals in your sector. No tribute at all. No military limits. You keep your armies. You make your own rules. We only ask alliance against common enemies. Nothing more." The humans talked among themselves for a short time. Then, Elena answered. "That sounds better on paper. But words change over time. Power shifts. One day alliance becomes control. We have seen it happen too many times in our history. Thank you, but no." Cassar Vale left without another word. The 4th visit brought pressure. The Empire stopped all trade with neutral worlds near Earth. Human companies could not buy certain rare materials anymore. Small messages arrived from other species. The Zethar are patient, but not forever. At the same time, the offer grew even bigger. Full defensive pact. Zethar fleets would guard Sol forever, no questions asked. Also, a permanent seat, not on the Periphery Council, but in the core assembly itself, a place only ancient races usually held. Elena and the others listened in silence. When Cassar Vale finished, she said only 3 words. "We still decline." Now the Zethar started to worry. Their spies watched Earth closely. Humans did not argue or fight about the offers. Instead, they worked faster. Scientists shared data openly across borders. Engineers built new engines in hidden labs. Small ships left Earth quietly and did not come back right away. They went to nearby stars. The 5th visit happened on the 18th month. The fleet filled the sky again. This time, Kesar Vale did not smile. His voice sounded tired. "We have given everything we can without breaking our own laws," he said. "Sector rule, shared nebulae, personal favor from the Emperor, full equality in defense and trade, unlimited technology. What more do you want?" Elena looked at him for a long moment. "We do not want more from you," she said. "We want nothing from you. Not because we hate you, because we choose our own path. Even if it is slower, even if it is harder, even if it means mistakes." Kesar Vale stared at the humans. Their faces showed no fear, no greed, just calm certainty. He turned to leave. At the shuttle door he stopped. "You build without our help," he said. "You explore without our maps. You refuse every gift. Why?" A man in the back spoke for the first time. His name was Captain James Torres. He commanded one of the new scout ships. "Because," he said simply, "a gift with strings attached is not a gift. It's a chain." The doors closed. The shuttle rose. The fleet waited above like patient giants. On the flagship, Kesar Vale sat alone. He opened the latest reports from his spies. Human warp tests now reached 15 light-years. Small bases grew on Mars, the Moon, and 2 asteroids. No flags of any nation. Only a simple blue and white symbol that looked like Earth from space. He recorded a new message to the Imperial Core. Multiple improved proposals rejected. Humans show accelerated independent development. No internal division on the matter. Unity unusual for young species. Recommend prepare for next phase. Gentle pressure has failed. Quarantine protocols may become necessary. He looked out at the blue planet turning slowly below. For the first time, he wondered if the Empire had met something new. Not just another species. Something that did not need them. Something that did not want them. Something dangerous in its quiet way. The galaxy had always grown by adding. Species joined or were added by force. Humans did neither. They simply kept going their own direction, and that direction was away from the Empire. The 3rd year arrived like a storm no one could ignore. High above Earth, the Zethar fleet gathered once more. This time it was not 40 ships, or 60. 80 massive vessels filled the space around Sol. Their dark hulls caught the sunlight and threw long shadows across the planet. The smallest of them could level a continent. The largest carried weapons that could crack moons. This was no longer a visit of friendship. It was a display of raw power, meant to make hearts tremble. High Envoy Kesar Vale stood on the bridge of the flagship. His silver skin looked pale under the red emergency lights. For weeks the Imperial Council had debated. Patience had run out. The Emperor himself had given the order. End this nonsense. Kesar Vale opened a channel that reached every screen, radio, phone, and speaker on Earth. His voice was calm, but colder than before. People of Earth, you have rejected every offer we have made. You have ignored our gifts, our warnings, and our patience. The Zethar Interstellar Empire has decided your time for choice is over. By the authority of the Eternal Emperor, we declare Sol and all human worlds under protective quarantine. No ship may leave your system without our permission. No outside trade or contact will be allowed. Your people will remain on your worlds until you accept client status. You have 1 solar cycle, 1 Earth year to comply. If you do not, we will begin administrative integration by force. Your resistance will be seen as rebellion. We do not wish to harm you, but we will if necessary. This is not a threat. It is fact. Choose wisely. The message ended. Silence fell over the planet. In cities, people stopped in streets. In homes, families looked at one another. In military bases, officers spoke in low voices. No panic, no screams, just a deep, shared quiet. The human response came that same evening. No grand fleet rose to meet the Zethar. No missiles launched. Instead, every major network carried the same broadcast. A single woman stood in front of a plain wall. Her name was Elena Ruiz. She wore a simple gray jacket. Her face showed lines from worry and work, but her eyes were clear. She spoke for 7 minutes. No notes, no teleprompter, just words from the heart. High Envoy Kesar Vale, leaders of the Zethar Empire, people of Earth. We have heard your words. We understand what you offer and what you threaten. For 3 years you have come to us with gifts that grow larger each time. You promise safety, wealth, long life, power. In return you ask us to bow, to accept your rules, to let you decide our future. We said no the first time. We said no every time after. We say no now. We do not hate you. We do not fear you. We simply will not be owned. Our history is long and painful. For thousands of years, people told other people what they must do. Kings, emperors, priests, governments. They said it was for the greater good. They said it was protection. They said it was love. In the end, those chains always became heavier. They took freedom. They took choice. They took lives. We fought those chains. We bled for them. We died for them. We learned one hard lesson. No leash is ever kind enough to wear. Your empire is vast. Your ships are strong. Your technology is far beyond ours. We know this, but we also know ourselves. We will not sign papers that make us children in your house. We will not trade our future for your promises. We will not kneel because the alternative is hard. If you choose to force us, we will resist. Not because we want war, because we have no other choice. But know this, even if you win today, you will never win completely. A people who choose freedom once will choose it again and again. We thank you for the time you gave us to decide. Our answer is final. We decline. The broadcast ended. No cheers, no music, just quiet. On the flagship, Kesar Vale watched the feed in silence. His aides stood frozen. One of them, a young analyst named Talon, spoke first. They did not threaten us back, she said. They did not beg. They did not bargain. Kesar Vale nodded slowly. No, they explained, as if we were the ones who needed to understand. He turned to the tactical display. Tiny human ships, small scouts no bigger than shuttles, moved near the edge of the system. They had appeared months ago. Now more came. They slipped past patrols like shadows. They tested new engines. They mapped empty space. They built nothing grand, just quiet, steady steps outward. Show me the latest scans, he ordered. The screen changed. Human activity spread like thin roots. A base on Mars grew larger. Outposts on asteroids sent signals. A small station orbited Jupiter's moon. Crude warp signatures flickered farther out. 10 light years, 12, 15. They move without permission, Talon said. They ignore the quarantine already. Kesar Vale felt something cold in his chest. Not anger. Not fear exactly. Recognition. They do not see us as owners, he said quietly. They see us as neighbors, ones they do not need to obey. He recorded a message to the core. Ultimatum delivered. Human response, polite, unified refusal, no counter-threat, no negotiation. Continued independent expansion observed. Warp capability advancing faster than projected. Recommend immediate review of quarantine enforcement. Species psychology does not match standard models. They are not holding out for better terms. They reject the concept of terms entirely. He closed the channel. Below, Earth turned slowly. Lights twinkled on the night side like stubborn stars. People went to bed. They worked. They planned. They built. The Zethar waited. The year ticked down. But humans did not wait. They moved. Small ships left Sol in greater numbers. They headed not toward the Empire's bright core, but sideways, into the dark, unclaimed sectors everyone else called worthless. Radiation storms, dead worlds, empty voids. The Empire watched. They sent probes. The probes vanished. Polite signals came back sometimes. Thank you for the data. We have no need for further assistance. Cassar Vale stood alone on the observation deck. He looked at the blue planet that refused to bend. For the first time in his long life, he wondered if power alone was enough. The Empire had always won by offering or by force. Humans accepted neither. They simply continued. And in that simple act, they became something the galaxy had never seen before. A species that measured strength, not in ships or stars, but in the quiet choice to say no. The Empire declared the protective quarantine zone around human space. 80 ships stayed in position. They formed a wide circle around the entire Sol system. Smaller patrol vessels moved between them like watchful eyes. No human ship was allowed to cross the line without inspection. Trade stopped completely. Messages from neutral worlds dried up. The Zethar waited for the humans to crack under the pressure. They did not crack. Instead, humans did the one thing the Empire never expected. They expanded outward. Not toward the rich, crowded core of Zethar space. Not toward the bright trade lanes everyone fought over. They went sideways, into the forgotten corners of the galaxy, places the Empire had marked as useless long ago. The first reports came quietly. A scout drone found a small human convoy near Bernard's star. 3 rough colony ships, old designs patched together from Earth freighters and new engines, settled on a rocky world bathed in hard radiation. The planet had no air worth breathing. The ground glowed with dangerous particles. Every Imperial survey had written it off centuries before. Humans built domes. They dug tunnels. They planted seeds and sealed greenhouses. Within months, the first crops grew under artificial light. A thin atmosphere started to form inside the domes. Small signs blinked. New Hope Colony, population 412. The Empire sent probes. The probes watched from far away. Then the probes stopped sending data. A polite human signal came back on an open channel. Thank you for the observation. We have copied the scans you took. We require no further assistance. Please do not send more without permission. Cassar Vale read the message on his bridge. His aides gathered around the display. No one spoke at first. They thank us, Talon said slowly. Then they disable our equipment. With precision. No damage to the probe itself. Just the sensors removed. Cassar Vale stared at the star map. Tiny blue dots appeared one by one. Human outposts. Not big, not flashy. Just steady. A mining camp on a methane ice giant with gravity that would crush most ships. A research station drifting on a rogue planet in total darkness. A habitat ring around a gas giant moon where storms never stopped. These were not prize worlds. No one else wanted them. The Empire had ignored them for good reason. Too hard, too costly, too empty. Humans did not care. They arrived with basic tools. They used local materials. They failed sometimes. Dome breaches, power failures, sickness from strange dust. But they learned fast. Survivors rebuilt. More ships came. Families followed. Children were born under alien skies. The Empire tried to understand. Analysts ran simulations. In one model, humans should have collapsed after 6 months of quarantine. Food shortages. No rare metals. No advanced parts. Instead, the numbers went the other way. Human population in extrasolar colonies grew. Warp tests jumped from 15 light-years to 25. Then, 30. They improved their engines in secret, one analyst reported. Our spies capture fragments of designs. The math does not match our known physics. They bend rules we thought unbreakable. Cassar Vale listened in silence. He remembered the human pilot they captured months earlier. The man had smiled during questioning. "We didn't reject your proposals because we hate you," he said. "We rejected them because we already have something better. It's called freedom. You should try it sometime." The words stuck like thorns. A new report arrived from Deep Scouts. Humans had reached the Perseus Arm Fringe, a corridor no major power claimed. It stretched thousands of light years, full of dust clouds, dead stars, and hazards. Perfect for hiding. Perfect for growing without eyes on them. Small trade began, not with the Empire, with minor independent species the Zethar barely noticed. Tiny lizard-like traders from Epsilon Indi. Nomadic miners from the Veil Nebula. Humans traded food, tools, knowledge. In return, they got rare elements, strange alloys, old maps. No tribute, no oversight, just equal exchange. The imperial court grew restless. Nobles whispered in the great halls. "If they keep this up," one lord said, "they will fill empty space faster than we can watch. In 3 centuries, they could match our core density without paying a single credit." Another voice added, "They do not conquer. They do not demand. They simply exist and multiply." Caesar Vale traveled to the Imperial Core for the first time in years. He stood before the Eternal Emperor. The throne room was vast and silent. The Emperor's form, ancient, glowing faintly, listened without moving. "They reject every leash," Caesar Vale said, "even the golden ones. They choose hard worlds over easy rule. They build without our blessing. And they grow." The Emperor spoke in a voice like distant thunder. "Then contain them." "We try," Caesar Vale answered, "but containment fails when the thing you contain does not fight back. It just slips sideways." A leaked human document reached Imperial spies soon after. It was short. Only one line mattered. "Any leash, no matter how golden, is still a leash." The words spread through the fleet like a quiet poison. Officers read them in private. Crews discussed them in low voices. For the first time, some Zethar wondered, what if the humans were right? On Earth, life went on. People worked longer hours. Scientists shared discoveries freely. Engineers tested new drives in hidden shipyards. Children learned star maps that showed no borders. Parents told stories of the day the giants came and left empty-handed. Out in the dark, a new human colony ship arrived at a frozen rogue world. The captain, a woman with scars from old Earth wars, stepped onto the ice. She looked at the black sky. No stars close enough to see. Only endless night. She smiled. "Home," she said to her crew. "Let's make it ours." They started building. The Empire watched from afar. Probes vanished. Signals thanked them and asked them to leave. Caesar Vale stood on his observation deck, one quiet night cycle. He looked toward the perpendicular corridor where human lights now flickered. Faint, small, but growing. He thought of all the species he had welcomed, all the ones who bowed, all the ones who joined. None had ever walked away like this. None had ever said no so completely, and kept walking. The quarantine zone held, but the humans did not stop. They simply continued, in their quiet, stubborn way. And that continuation became something more frightening than any rebellion. It became proof. Proof that a people could thrive without masters. Proof that freedom was not a gift to be given. It was a choice to be made. Decade 5 arrived quietly, like the slow turning of a very old page. The Zethar Empire still ruled 11,000 systems. Its fleets remained unmatched. Its wealth still flowed like endless rivers. But something had changed in the shadows. The humans had not attacked. They had not begged. They had not even argued. They had simply kept moving forward in their own direction. High Envoy Caesar Vale returned to the Imperial Core one last time. He walked the long crystal halls to the throne room. The Eternal Emperor waited on his high seat. The air felt heavy. Advisors stood in rows, silent and watchful. Caesar Vale bowed low. He spoke in a voice that carried no pride, only truth. Your Majesty, we offered them everything. Client status, sector rule, shared nebulae, personal favor from your hand, full equality in the core assembly, unlimited technology, defensive pacts forever. We even offered alliance without tribute or oversight. Every proposal was larger than the last. They rejected them all. No anger, no demands, no counteroffers, just calm refusal, every time. The Emperor's glowing form shifted slightly. His voice rolled out like distant thunder. And now? Caesar Vale raised his head. Now they number in the millions beyond Sol. Their corridor stretches across the Perseus arm fringe. Colonies on worlds we called dead. Cities under ice. Farms in radiation storms. Stations in total darkness. They trade with forgotten species. They build ships that match ours. Not copied, but changed, improved, faster drives, stronger shields, weapons we do not fully understand. They grow without our permission. They live without our rules, and they thrive. A low murmur moved through the advisors. One stepped forward. Simulations show their population density could equal our core worlds in 3 centuries. Without tribute, without control. The Emperor looked down at Caesar Vile. Have they threatened us? Caesar Vile answered, no, they ignore us. They thank our probes for data, then disable them. They send polite messages asking us to leave their space. They do not fire first. They do not boast. They simply continue. The throne room fell silent. Caesar Vile continued. We captured another scout pilot last month, a young woman. During questioning, she smiled. She said only one thing that matters. We didn't reject your proposals because we hate you. We rejected them because we already have something better. It's called freedom. You should try it sometime. The words hung in the air like smoke. The Emperor rose slowly. For the first time in living memory, his ancient face showed something close to shock. They did not bargain, he said quietly. They did not threaten. They simply continued. Caesar Vile nodded. That is what terrifies our analysts most. Not their ships, not their numbers, their indifference. They do not measure worth by territory or gold or crowns. They measure it by choice, by the right to say no and keep saying it. Outside the core, reports kept coming. A human fleet, small but fast, patrolled their growing corridor. They met Imperial scouts once. No shots fired. The humans broadcast a single message. This space is claimed. Please turn back. The scouts turned back. New colonies appeared on maps every few months. Names like Dawn's Reach, Iron Sky, Last Light. Simple names. Stubborn names. Human traders met independent species in neutral zones. They exchanged food for rare crystals, tools for old star charts, stories for laughter. No taxes, no overseers, just people talking as equals. In the imperial court, nobles argued late into the night. Some called for war. Crush them now, they said, before they grow too strong. Others shook their heads. And then what? Occupy empty rocks? Fight endless shadows? They do not gather in one place to conquer. They spread like seeds on wind. You cannot crush wind. The Emperor listened to all of it. Then he spoke one quiet order. Observe. Do not engage. Let them grow. Let us see what they become. Years passed. Human ships now cross distances that once took Imperial fleets months. Their engines bent space in ways no Zethar scientist could fully explain. Their medicine cured things the Empire still studied. Their children grew up speaking of stars as neighbors, not distant dreams. One day a single human envoy arrived at the edge of Imperial space. Not a warship, a small diplomatic vessel. No weapons visible, just a white flag symbol and the blue Earth emblem. They asked for a meeting, not to join, not to bargain, just to talk. The human representative was an older man with calm eyes. His name was Marcus Hale. "We come to say one thing," Marcus said. "We do not want your empire. We do not want to replace it. We do not even want your attention. We want to be left alone. Not as enemies, not as rebels, as neighbors who choose their own road." Kassar Vale looked at the man for a long time. "You have changed the galaxy," he said softly, without firing a shot. Marcus smiled a little. "We changed ourselves. The galaxy just noticed." The meeting ended. The human ship left. No treaty signed. No promises made. Back on the flagship, Kassar Vale stood alone. He looked out at the stars. Somewhere in the dark, human lights kept appearing, small at first, then brighter, then steady. The Empire stood stunned. Not by defeat in battle, not by betrayal or trickery, but by the quiet power of a people who refused to be owned. They had not asked for a place at the table. They had built their own table, and invited others to sit as equals, or not at all. In the end, that was the most terrifying thing of all. A species that did not need the Empire's approval. A species that measured success, not in conquest, but in continuation. In the simple, stubborn act of saying no, and then walking forward anyway. The stars watched, and the galaxy, for the first time in millennia, felt something new. Uncertainty. Because the greatest power was no longer size or strength or wealth. It was the courage to choose your own path, and keep choosing it.